All right, hello. We are back. Well, Tosan has some free time, so we are going to be continuing our BloodBorne October 2025 playthrough. If you are here joining me, thank you. We're going to be trying to relax for about 30 minutes. It is 11:30 where I am at the moment. We have about 30 minutes to see how far we can get. See how much we can do in about 30 minutes. Last time I played, which was a day ago, I found the Crow Woman, the Plague Doctor, lady. Finally, there's a few probably areas I can still explore, and then we're going to take on the beast guy thingy. Not the transitional boss, but that sub boss. Anyway, we're gonna. Well, you know what? Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. We're going to probably be leveling up a lot, honestly. And as always, we're going to be checking out what's going on around us in the world. We're going to be talking about Joe Rogan and Andrew Shulz, comedians, and talking about why it's important to pay attention to these assholes. And we're going to be doing that with some videos. And we're going to be talking about the Japanese Prime Minister. And, talking about some things just going on around us in the world. So, we're not even talking, we're going to be rambling about some things going on in the world, current events, and just, so we're not totally caught unprepared. All right, so let's get to it. Going to be leveling up, getting some XP, and exploring the beginning area of this game. Huh. Everybody's dead. What the hell did I do last time? Okay, anyways. So, real quick, before we get to the video today, which is going to be Andrew Shulz and Joe Rogan, being covered by Too Lazy to Try, part of the, the YouTube channels that have really popped up recently, kind of calling out comedians and other podcasters on basically their hypocrisy and how they're just trying to show that they're above like other people when they're not. They're even below even other people that they criticize. Anyways, I'll be getting to that in a moment, but just a few quick topics. One, one moment. Whoa. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. All right. Okay, yeah. So one quick topic is, so Takaichi-san actually became the first female prime minister. She was trying to be the prime minister for a long time, and the Liberal Democratic Party, so LDP. Party of Japan basically has been a little bit of fractured recently, and been cutting some of the fat, but they were able to make some connections. Connections with some other groups, and they pulled it off. She became the first female prime minister, and a lot of people believe that she's very ultra conservative. That's what the information I've been gathering. Again, I have got to pay more attention to Japanese politics. I really do. Again, but from what I've checked about her, she seems to be very, very conservative. But again, there's a difference between being conservative in your social, beliefs, and also conservative in your, political beliefs. When you're talking about money, social programs, all these type of things, it depends on what you're conservative on, how you'll affect the people, the citizens. And it also means, how much you believe in your private life versus, again, the public life, what you're going to be doing for your job. That's important. A lot of times people mix it up. You might, some politicians really don't like this or that in their private life, but they might not actually advocate for those things. When it comes to their job in the public, serving the public. So Taiki-chan, again, some people are really pointing out, again, they're saying ultra conservative, but that also means, like, what does conservative mean? Whenever people say like this or that, check about what they actually believe in, because again, being conservative in one country does not mean the same thing as being a conservative in another country. They can be totally different. Also the center, also the left, whatever. Check what the people actually believe in and what they fight for, and that's and check their past about what they've done in the past. That's the most important thing, to see what they will probably do in the future. So again, so some of the things they pointed out again is, you know, in the media, is Takaichi-san, the new Prime Minister of Japan, seems to, you know, not so focused on social reforms. That's the big thing. But see, how should I say this? See, that's one of the big things that, again, a lot of Western countries focus, I believe, too much on. It's not throwing those people under the bus. It's just that, I'm sorry, a lot of times people cannot chew gum and walk at the same time. They think they can, but they actually can't. Ooh, I really gotta... how the hell do I counter? Yeah, I should really get better at... Boosh. He does some good damage, damn. Woo! I like some of that. That's what I'm talking about, son. So, you know, a few things that people were really focusing on. So Takaichi-san doesn't believe in you know, female succession or the crown, you know, the imperial crown of Japan. And, you know, a lot of Japanese people still believe in that kind of aspect, these type of things. Woo! Goddamn! Oh, what am I doing? Like, I've got to practice, man. God damn! Oh! Like, God damn! This guy just don't stop, man. Okay, like that. I guess. One moment, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment, one moment. What the... Like, I don't know, man. What the... I gotta practice. Oh, I hate these guys. I hate these guys. I hate these guys. Anyways, all right. Yes, yes, yes. So another thing she believes in is, or doesn't believe in, she doesn't believe in women having separate names. If you get married, you should take the husband's name, unless the husband, I believe, unless the husband basically gives up his name, you know, to basically take the wife's name. But basically, she doesn't want people to have separate names. She doesn't, from what I've heard, doesn't believe in allowing gay people the right to marriage. So again, for other people in other countries, like especially Westerners, they might see this as, you know, not good for a lot of aspects. You know, how should I say this? Like, I get it. You know, if those are some of the things that you want to see changed. But again, unfortunately, there's some people might say throwing them under, you know, gay people under the bus. We're not blaming, like, them for like bad. It's not like in America blaming them for like the bad things in you know, in society. It's just that they don't believe that that's something that they should be allowed to have. Even if I don't agree with it, I mean, I don't believe in the concept of marriage overall as a thing. Unless if you want to get married, you might get some like, you know, how should I say? How should I say this? How should I say this? How should I say this? If you want to get married, like, you know, some kind of system with in the government, you know, register you and your partner to, you know, work together for this or that, and then you might be able to get some like benefits, you know, childcare and this type of stuff. Okay, fine. Like, you know, I can see aspects of it like that, but overall, you know, the concept of just being like, how should I say, just the overall, I guess this is the pageantry of marriage. I'm not a big fan of it, you know, like having to do so much just for this one day. My own stupid biases. I mean, and this is somebody who's been married since I've been like freaking 19, okay? Been married since I was 19 with the same person. So over like 20 years now. And they didn't even know that. Like, nah, I'm not gonna pay for that fucking like goddamn church to use all my goddamn money. Like, do you want to have, like, you know, at the time, okay, what do you want? Do you want me to spend all this goddamn money for one day, or do you want me to spend money on a house we're gonna live in? That's the way I look at it. I'm sorry, I don't make all the goddamn money in the world, especially at that time. But like, I did. I had a small wedding party and stuff, and we invited friends. So it was very, very, very small. That's fine. That's no problem. But again, a lot of people, usually women, want some kind of big, grand gesture. I don't agree with that, but that's just my own personal bullshit. Anyways, yeah, so a lot of people are considering her to being very, very, very conservative. What's going on over here? God damn. So a lot of people are wary about her, but again, what she says, she wants to, you know, focus more on the economy and housing and stuff like that, and that stuff is really important. Unfortunately, that for, you know, people that are maybe supportive of gay rights and those type of things, I'm sorry, that other stuff is more important. Even gay people need houses. So if everybody can have more affordable houses, more you know, better wages, all these type of things, that's, from my point of view, something they should be focusing on more. Especially, again, like in other Asian countries and stuff, there is more of an aspect of like overall community. Not just Asian countries, a lot of other countries outside of Western countries, there's more like a pull towards community thinking. So of course, you know, yeah, okay, you might want this or that, but are you putting your personal needs above getting shit done for more people? And that's one of the things, yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna move on for that. So, okay, so there's a bunch of stuff going on right now, but let's just get to the videos again. So, Too Lazy to Try is basically calling out, you know, how Joe Rogan and these people have been kind of bitching about many things, about other people, fans and other comedians have been calling them out for basically going to Saudi Arabia and, you know, just accepting Saudi Arabian blood money, and then they're just trying to, a lot of comedians that went are just trying to find excuses to justify them taking a bunch of money. You know, and some of it is somewhat valid. Again, I understand some of the points that they're trying to make, but if you actually think about it, again, it's just excuses to make them, you know, feel comfortable with what they've done. And, you know, so we're going to watch this Too Lazy to Try video, and we're going to be rambling and commenting on just some things here and there. All right, let's just get to it.
Seeing a lot of comedians like trying to like separate themselves from Austin lately. Have you seen this? A lot of comedians that like use Joe and his millions of followers to boost their careers, that went on there to promote their specials, that performed at the club, like really used Joe's power and influence that he was very generous to give them. And all of a sudden there's like a little internet backlash. It's like, and now I see these comics like kind of vocally talking shit that they would talk all this shit, by the way, behind closed doors, because it's what comics do, but like real like rat weasel shit. Because you let this guy enrich you, you used him for his followers, and now you see a situation where like they're getting backlash, and instead you pile on for self-salvation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking weasels in this business, and it's good. I like to see it. I want everybody to know.
All right, so it looks like the Rogan sphere is done holding back. The same day Rogan called out Mark Maron, Schulz also called out Maron, and every comedian that's turned on Rogan. So things are getting really interesting. You know, it seems like now Rogan's friends might have the green light to start trashing other comics. Because like I said in my last video, for a while, Rogan didn't want any conflict between them. He hates it, which is respectable, but we all know behind the scenes there's a ton of conflict, jealousy, trash talking.
So again, if you don't know, again, Joe Rogan, that bald guy, he's like the biggest podcaster in the world, and he's supposedly a comedian, but he became really, really famous from basically doing his podcast and having interviews, and for a long time, again, he did a lot of good interviews. But, you know, he's a very, very, very big Trump supporter, and basically just constantly made excuses, and he's one of the reasons that Trump won. And then, you know, a lot of comedians recently have been calling out that, so many comedians basically selling out. And then now calling out Joe Rogan for basically just trying to control comedy for the most part. Again, and I've been watching videos again recently while I'm working. And Joe Rogan, again, he has this image. That's the big thing. He has this image of where he seems like a very nice guy. So, and from what I've heard, he is a very nice guy to the people around him. But if you get under his skin a little bit, he becomes very childish. He says, "Oh no, it's okay, no problem. I don't care. I don't waste time." But then he does. He wastes so much time talking about bullshit that he says, "Oh, I'm not going to talk about this," and then he freaking does. And then there was a video recently where Joe Rogan was told by his friend to his face, like, dude, you don't understand actually what you're basically reading. You're constantly talking about scientific issues and this and that, but you actually don't really know. And Joe Rogan got fucking pissed. He got so pissed off, like, you know, I'm not stupid, basically, and just, I know what I'm reading. I'm reading this. I'm not, like, you know, but no, he can read it, but does he actually understand it? That's the big thing. And that kind of just showed that, again, he just has arrogance. Joe Rogan's arrogance.
So it's nice to see it all be put out in the open now. I mean, after the Riyadh Comedy Festival,
all these guys went
trashing the Rogan sphere. It's like we're in a comedy civil war now. Like Schulz, he went off on so many people during this. You know, like with Rogan, you could tell Schulz has also been holding this in for a while, and there's a lot of people he wanted to talk shit about. And it's hilarious because he brings up Bill Burr and Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino and the backlash they've been getting for doing the Riyadh Comedy Festival. And he's like, bad friends are in shambles. Go look at their comment section. Which is ironic because Schulz also performed at the festival and he's being called out in his comment section, but he's in complete denial. It's so funny. He's like, thankfully, our fans don't even care that we did the festival. But if you look at the
see, I saw this actual video. Again, he's like, yeah, nobody cared. And then the comments are full of people like just saying, dude, you're a fucking sellout. You're a piece of shit. But that's literally called gaslighting. Like, you know, it's not good that you do that. Oh, thank you for praising me. It's like, what the
comments on this podcast, it paints a different picture, and it's pretty similar to Bad Friends comment section. But at least neither of them have it as bad as Bill Burr. You know, they'll be fine.
Billy Boy
Schulz is right about that. I'm sure they'll always be making jokes about it, but this will blow over. And I don't think Schultz's fans really care as much as Bill's, especially. Like, this isn't really that surprising from Schulz. But it is hilarious watching him cope over it and act like Bad Friends fans are losing their minds.
Let's keep it going.
And his couldn't care less. But I think he's just looking for a way to trash Andrew Santino and Bobby because they had criticized podcasts like Flagrant for having on politicians. Also, they had on Mark Maron, and he went off on Rogan while he was on there in the whole Austin scene. So I think Schulz is trying to use this as an opportunity to throw shade at them.
And I know I ain't shit, y'all ain't shit.
Well, that's the reason why we don't have any pushback, barely any pushback, is because
barely any. Okay, the comments was just that.
We've never been the ones out here. Like, there are people that are getting pushback, and like, based on some shit that they had said in the past, I kind of get it. Like, I'll be honest, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Burr's getting all this pushback, and it's like the first time I've seen in his career him not, like, aware of why it's happening.
Yeah.
Like, I saw him on Conan, and again, it's a clip, so I don't want to take clips out of context, but he's like, oh, these people are, like, sanctimonious cunts, and it's like, bro, you did say that Beyonce sold out for blood money
Yeah.
for going to, like, an oil state.
Yeah.
And then you went to an oil state. So, like, now, I will say, that being said, we've received almost no criticism.
So I don't know. Does it? So is that almost like, okay? So he just said that. If I'm being generous, it just sounds like he's almost like saying like kind of a how should I say it? He's being sarcastic, like, oh, we haven't actually been called out, although they have been, but. I don't know. Sometimes these people just really don't know what's going on around them. So again, a lot of people have been calling him out. Yay, blood.
Comment section is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, all Bobby did is went there and showed his.
Yeah.
Showed his dick, and then
It's
Santino,
progressive.
he did an accent, and then they came back. It's not that crazy.
Yeah, it's
Leave
progressive.
him alone. You know what I mean? Show your dick, Santino, do the accent, and then you come home. It is what it is.
It's so funny, dude. Yeah, well, look, we got the best fans.
And the comments are hilarious. People are like, did he just gaslight us into saying we don't care? Like, all I see in the comments are fans caring. So this was an interesting strategy. And then they also spent like 20 minutes ranting about how they don't care what people have to say about them doing the festival, while simultaneously addressing what everyone has to say about them doing the festival. I mean, like this comment says, Shulz has got to be the most bothered, unbothered person on the planet right now. So Shulz and Akash addressed the rules of the festival, you know, because a lot of people are criticizing comedians for censoring themselves for the Saudis, since there's a lot of stuff you can't joke about. But apparently Shulz and Akash didn't even read the rules or see what was off limits. Like, Shulz claims he didn't censor himself at all, and he'll say whatever he wants over there, and he thinks there won't be any repercussions. He's like, oh, they don't really care about the rules. Which, thanks to Tim Dillon, we know they actually do. You know, they take the rules very seriously, because obviously he got fired before the gig for making a slave labor joke on his own show. So maybe Shulz didn't censor himself while he's there, but we know for a fact there are topics that are off limits.
People came up to me like, you know, you can't talk about X, Y, and Z, and I was like, I haven't even looked at this list.
You can say we can't, but we're gonna.
Yeah.
And then you just deal with the repercussions that which are nothing. It's nothing ever.
Yeah, but our jokes hit.
No. What it is, it's people covering their asses there. It's just like, it's like when you're like dealing with like a marketing campaign.
And then they also started trashing comedians who were talking shit about the comedians doing the festival, like Mark Maron. And it sounds like Shulz refers to somebody else specifically here too, but he doesn't say their name. I think he might be referring to Gianmarco Ceresi. I think he was speaking out about the festival, and he also makes fun of the Rogan sphere.
That's the thing, when these fucking comics are like trying to be self-aware when they're shitting on us. They're like, just for the record, we didn't get an invite to the Red.
We know you didn't.
Yeah.
You can't perform outside of Brooklyn.
Exactly. Like,
you do musical theater crowd work.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, your comedy isn't good. Why would they want you?
Look at that audience of yours. I bet I can count the minorities on one hand.
What a sacrifice to not go to the festival you weren't invited.
Yeah, they don't know you exist. It's not because you're a problem. It's not because you speak truth to power.
Yeah.
It's because you speak truth to upper middle class white people and 10 minorities who want to fuck upper middle class white people.
Just pat yourselves on the back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go
Yeah.
to a Mark Maron show. Count the minorities.
Exactly.
I doubt you get. I doubt you get to the second hand.
Yeah, where are those minorities he cares so much about?
And then Shulz starts going in on comedians who have turned on Rogan,
let me get this.
which he doesn't name anyone specifically, but it sounds like he has a lot of people in mind. So shit's getting serious. Like, Shulz goes off and calls them two-faced snake weasel rats, and he claims the comedians are just going with the tide. Like, they went on Rogan when it was more beneficial, and now that his podcast isn't what he used to be in public.
Okay, so again, they're just talking about how other comedians are basically calling him out. One of the main ones is Mark Maron, and they're just saying, like, you know, Mark Maron is covering his bases. Like, you know, I wasn't invited to the comedy festival, but again, Mark Maron for like decades has been talking about these type of issues, and Mark Maron has actually called himself out. Like, you know, he said that, yeah, actually I do get jealous, I do act like this, I do like that, but that still doesn't mean that what these comedians are doing is like wrong, accepting this type of blood money from this country. Again, that's the reason why they were invited to whitewash basically Saudi Arabia. That doesn't mean that you don't have fans in other countries, as like, you know, what's his name? This guy. Shit, I forgot his name right now. Andrew Shulz is basically saying, like, you know, we have fans in other countries. We're going to go do shows. That's not what people are basically upset about. It's that you're getting money from the government to perform and whitewash their image. Like, a lot of people went to that show, but it was basically a bunch of rich people that are connected to the government. That's what people are pointing out. That's what people are basically saying, you guys sold out. And you know, it's just, as I've said before in many other videos, it's just social responsibility eventually to a certain point. Again, this is what I feel. Like, a lot of these type of people that are on these social media things, and you know, these comedians, and you know, Joe Rogan doing these podcasts and all this type of stuff, these are the things that younger people or people nowadays watch. There's not so much TV anymore. These kind of things they hear through osmosis. They hear through, like, or they see through little videos and all these type of things, and it little by little shapes people's worldview. And this type of thing just shows that the most important thing is just basically money. Like, you can't, like, oh shit. Oh, nice. What you want? Oh. God damn, they're so creepy and nasty, man. So creepy and nasty. Oh shit. Oh man. Whoa. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh! These are one of my most hated monsters. I hate these fucking guys. Because they're so creepy looking. Alright. Nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. What was that? What did I get right there? Something gold. Something gold. Again, so it's just like, so a certain part of this is just social responsibility. Like, people do see these things, like, especially young people. They say, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. These guys try to explain it. Like, yeah, you know, other people did it. You know, other people, like, you know, Mark Maron had Obama on his last show. He's like, yeah, Obama did, you know, war criminal stuff too. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay, then, okay, fine. Maybe you shouldn't talk. Okay, fine. But that doesn't mean what you guys did is also okay. That's the thing. Okay, then that guy shouldn't be able to say anything about me. Okay, then screw him. How about all the other people that are saying stuff about you? People that never met Obama. People that never met, you know, went to Saudi Arabia. What about all these people? Okay, so then you're going to say, like, okay, they never actually were offered this money, so they don't have the right. They don't understand, you know, have the exact same experiences that I do. So they, you know, they don't know about the decision that I made. It's like, it's always some fucking excuse with these people to be called out for their stuff. Again, you guys were offered a lot of money to go to a place that attacked America. And America, for a long time, had it coming. Yes, that's true. America, for a long time, was responsible for a lot of bad shit that happened in the world. It still is. But a lot of innocent people were killed by, you know, directly being, you know, the attack on September 11th by Saudi Arabia. And what happened? America then basically launched a war on another country that didn't attack them. It's called all these other problems. All just a big shitstorm with all this type of stuff that the Saudi Arabia government basically pushed. And, you know, since America, though, the upper people in America and government are so close with the Saudi Arabia because of the oil and the money that they get, they pushed America into a fake war. Or a real war, but an unnecessary war. For over 20 years. Again, just like do some self-reflection. Just realize that, okay, you know, I did something. And then that's the thing. There's other comedians. He's saying, oh, you're not popular enough. You're not, you know, you don't have the right. Okay, then how about Shane Gillis? One of your guys' friends. One of the most popular, if not the most popular comedian at the moment right now. He didn't go. He called it. He's like, yeah, I don't think this is right. And he didn't go. Big boy. All right, let's do this. First time. Oh shit. Suck on that. Man, the first time I played this, woo, so scary. Anyways, let's continue.
Sentiment has shifted. Comedians that were former guests of his are jumping on the hate train.
It's like, and now I see these comics like kind of vocally talking shit, that they would talk all this shit, by the way, behind closed doors, because it's what comics do, but like real like rat weasel shit. Because you let this guy enrich you, you used him for his followers, and now you see a situation where like they're getting backlash, and instead you pile on for self-salvation.
Yeah.
Not get your boys back and refute some of the rumors that exist on the internet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking weasels in this business, and it's good. I like.
Yeah, and you're one of them.
I want everybody to know, because they're gonna get canceled for some shit in the future. They're gonna not live up to the purity
wow.
test. And Joe is the type of guy that he would have had your back. He would have had you on the biggest platform in the world to explain yourself. He would have given you that opportunity. But
dude,
now,
he gives everybody an opportunity. He gave the fascist Trump an opportunity. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? And he didn't do any pushback. Just because giving people the opportunity doesn't mean you're like a great guy. Again, see, that's the point. He's saying, like, you know, Joe Rogan was this, he did that, but again, people. Again, he changed too much. That's the thing. So, Joe, like within the last couple weeks, Joe Rogan has keeps jumping back and forth. He makes fun of migrants. Oh, you know, like basically kick them out of the country. And then in a different video, he's like, oh, you know, it's actually a sad thing. You know, we're doing this to the migrants. You know, we're going too far. He's constantly going back and forth about what he believes in. He's saying, actually, I'm pretty liberal, but then he shits on liberals for trying to change and, you know, protect minorities and all these type of things. And then if, you know, he's not allowed to basically make whatever jokes he wants, he gets pissed off at liberal people. And I think liberal people are fucking annoying too. But again, there's a very popular video from, you know, maybe like 10 years ago, where Joe Rogan went on a huge rant talking about immigrants basically being separated from their families. Was it 10 years ago? Well, whatever. It was a couple years ago. He was basically talking about, you know, children being taken away from their families, how abusive the police and the Border Patrol people are being. And if you support that, you're not, he literally said, you're not part of the team, you're not part of humanity. And then he supports the guy that basically does the things that he says are horrible. Donald Trump and Stephen Smith and all, or not Stephen Smith, Stephen Miller. Like all these people that he says before were horrible people for pushing and supporting these type of government actions. He called it horrible. He says you're not part of the team, you're not part of humanity. And then he supports the people that do it. Like, what you got to call this shit out. Like, what are you doing?
You really are.
Also, comedy scenes are comedy scenes. Like Brooklyn was the most annoying comedy scene.
Yeah.
Probably still is. I don't need to perform there anymore.
This thing is like they're going like all the comics and whatever. It's like, listen, the majority of comics at a comedy club suck. Okay? They do. I go to the cellar and roll my eyes at half of these motherfuckers before I gotta go on and mop up the bombs that they fucking do. Okay? Now, Joe can no longer do something for you, or Tony can no longer do something for you, because that's what it really comes down. When going on Joe Rogan made you a millionaire for 6 years in a row, all these comics were fucking quiet. They were complimentary. They were being so sweet because they wanted to get in. Now that going on Joe Rogan once doesn't automatically give you a career. And now that Kill Tony is focused on more like character-based people, now they no longer see their salvation in these two people. So now they're having these honest conversations. Oh, they're saying the R word a lot. Shut up, retard. Do you know what I mean? I'm seeing these comics, it's just so two-faced snake weasels, little rats.
Yeah.
And this is kind of who they are, though, to be honest. Like, these are the conversations that...
Okay, and then here's the thing. Again, he's saying, yeah, people are saying retard or this type of stuff too much. That's they're calling it out. Like even again, Shane Gillis, I'm using as a big example. He's the one that called it out. He's one of the ones that called it out. He has like handicapped family, and he uses the word. He just feels like when they constantly keep saying it over and over again, it starts to get really hacky. It starts to get tired. Like the same thing. It's like, and it's just like you're just saying it just to, as like kind of a sign you're part of the club kind of thing. Oh yeah, I'll say it too. That's the problem for a lot of these people. Okay, you say retard, you say this type of stuff. There's people that make that type of joke and say it, and people don't get that upset about it, or don't get upset at all, especially because if their fans are the ones that actually like them, they actually care about them. But it's just all from what I've heard. Again, it was not just Shane Gillis. Like there's been reports of other people that, you know, went to Joe Rogan's comedy club and all these type of things, and just said that like the atmosphere is so like ass kissy, and Joe Rogan is very, very paranoid about like people like that go to that thing. He's very, very like tries to control everything there. It just seems like a lot of people said it feels very like the atmosphere is really weird, and a lot of the jokes eventually just like making fun of the same things over and over again. Again, just like making fun of trans people, making fun of liberals, you know, people that are basically against on the opposite of Trump's political spectrum, all these type of things. It's the same thing over and over again. So, you know, it gets tiring. And that's the thing. And he's saying, as you know, other people pointed out, again, Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan now, they're so freaking different. As I just said, he was a huge rant that he did about, you know, people that support these barbaric practices on, you know, immigrants, migrants, gay people, all this type of stuff. And then now he's like, he changed. And then again, within the week, again, he changed again. He keeps flip-flopping all over the place.
Have in private,
and people calling it out.
Face. So maybe it's even better that they're finally have the balls to be authentic.
I mean,
now.
look.
Yeah, so it sounds like shit's hitting the fan here. You know, those comedians goofing on Rogan really touched a nerve. Like, I figured it was getting to him, but I didn't realize it was this bad. And I'm not totally sure who Shulz is talking about, but at one point it definitely sounds like he's referring to Stavros Hakias, who's been on Rogan's podcast, but he's not someone whose career was made by Rogan. But Shulz refers to him because he did a podcast with another comedian, and I think she made a trans joke or something, and he called her out on it and said she had Austin brain. And that clip got a lot of attention. And Shulz also mentions how this person was on a podcast that's known for saying offensive stuff, which sounds like he's referring to Town. So I think he's definitely talking about Stavros. And also, it sounds like he'd still be talking about Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee, you know, because they had on Marin and they also criticized the Rogan sphere. But then recently, Santino went on Rogan's podcast and did kill Tony. So after that, people thought everything was fine between them. But now hearing this, it sounds like, who knows? You know, it sounds like Shulz thinks he's a backstabber. So also I think he could be referring to Anthony Jeselnik, because he's been making fun of Shulz in the Rogan sphere for a while now, but I guess not as much recently, and those comedians seem to respect him a little more, so it's possible Shulz isn't thinking of him. And obviously, I mean, he's been on Rogan's podcast, but Rogan's not responsible for his career either. So then also I'm sure Shulz is thinking of Bill Burr and maybe Dan Soder. He's another guy that's been on Rogan's podcast before, and he's taken some subtle shots, kind of more so at the people that follow Rogan and the comedians that latch onto him, like Shulz. And then also he had on Mark Maron recently, so I'm sure that did it. You know, it's...
One moment. All right, it's already been a little bit too long now that I checked. Jesus Christ, it's already passed. Oh my God, the time. All right, I'm gonna be finishing it up here. Let me get to a safe little area, and then I'm gonna try to get my soul eventually later again. Don't have, unfortunately, that's, again, as I said many times, what being a father's all about. Never have time for yourself. Anyways, but I just had fun, even though it didn't do too far. I killed that big piggy. Kill the big piggy, and that's the thing. But yeah, just to finish it up on this comment, this rambling again, for my why is this shit important? Why does it even matter to talk about these people? Because unfortunately, in American politics, it still affects a lot of big part of the world, and a lot of these assholes were the reason why Trump basically got elected. One part of it. Again, there's a lot of things for how Trump won, but a lot of it is because these guys, the way they just pushed the narrative. They had Trump on, they humanized him, they looked past so many of his flaws, so many things. And now that Trump won, again, it's not just him, it's not just America, as I said, not even just the society in your own country, but the world basically. Again, you might not think so, but again, all these little things infect things now because we're using the internet. Everybody uses the internet. Everything is connected. It spreads like a fucking virus, like cancer. And now that Trump's president, again, he's affecting other countries all over the world, causing good things, other people joining forces, but also a lot of bad shit, man. So these people need to be called out. Even if they don't admit it themselves, they just, it's good to let other people notice, like, what these people really are like. And again, a lot of these people just will do whatever they can for money. Anyways, we'll try to get to it hopefully tomorrow if we can. Again, it's already been 45 minutes. I had a long day off. Even though it's a day off, I had to teach little babies today. Had a lot of little classes I had to do. Went to another city. Did help with some other people. Days off are sometimes the busiest days. Anyways, take care.